We will look at the movement of the Earth and the Moon. First, we'll look at the seasons. The path of the Earth's orbit around the Sun is not a perfect circle, it is an ellipse. Therefore, the Earth is closer to the Sun in December than in June. So then why is it colder in Canada in December than in June? It is because in C, this is when this is happening, the Earth is tilted away from the Sun, so it's cold. And in A, the Earth is tilted toward the Sun, so it's hot. And in B and D, there's no tilt to the Sun, so it's moderate. So these are the various times of year. So A would be June 21st, B would be September, C would be December, and D would be March 21st. So during spring and fall, we have temperate weather. In the summer, we have hotter weather, and in the winter, we have colder weather. And it's also due to the axis of the Earth, the tilt, which is 23.5 degrees from the flat plane of the Earth's orbit. So in the summer months, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the Sun, that's where we are. And in the winter months, the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the Sun, which is why they have their summer and we have our winter. Our seasons are opposite in the northern and southern hemispheres. As a result of the Earth's tilt, sunlight strikes the Earth's surface at different angles. The Sun that's reaching latitudes above or below the equator is more concentrated because it's at a smaller angle. So that's why we experience the season. Next, we will look at the phases of the moon. The moon is always half illuminated by the Sun, but how much of the illumination you see depends on where the moon is relative to the Earth. The amount of illumination you see is classified as the phases of the moon. So we have what's called the new moon, which is completely unlit and begins to be illuminated from the right side to the left, producing a full moon. Waxing means increasing the amount of illumination increases from right to left. A full moon is where the moon is completely illuminated, then the shadow gets larger from the right side to the left side. Waning means decreasing, as a full moon becomes a new moon. We have also what's called a gibbous moon, and this means that the amount of light we see illuminating the moon is between half and fully lit. And a crescent moon means that the amount of light we see illuminating the moon is between half lit and unlit. So here are the phases of the moon, and you can see that they wax from the right. So it goes waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, so it starts to decrease again on the right. Third quarter, waning crescent, and then new moon. And this is where the Sun comes from. Some phenomenon that happen because of the moon are called eclipses. The lunar eclipse is the phenomenon where the moon passes in the Earth's shadow. And a full lunar eclipse causes what's called the blood moon. So here's a picture of a full lunar eclipse. So we see that the Earth is in front of the moon, which makes it impossible for us to see it. So it just darkens the moon. A solar eclipse is a phenomenon in which the shadow of the moon falls on the Earth's surface. So in this case, we have the moon in between us and the Sun, which can determine if it's going to be a full or partial eclipse. So maybe you can look up to see when the next solar eclipse will be and when the next lunar eclipse will be. That's all for now.